Welcome back to Jurnis Plays and the Dice&Dolts cast playing into the Maelstrom. We've been away for a long time, but thankfully with the hectic Christmas over we get to play again. Sadly minus D today, as she has other appointments. But anyway, starting off, Dungeon Master Seph, would you like to give us a recap and then tell us a story?
Okay. Last time, after saving the control crystal from Garuda, the party returned to Sanctuary and basically enjoyed their last night in the... Storm had a nice heart-to-heart with his dad, and after buying some aphrodisiac potions, he and Squish got down to the business of dirt. While everyone else night, and we shall now pick up in the inn the next morning.
I would like to possibly even the DM that the sex was so good that Storm and Squish have a stat buff from it for the next 24 hours.
Yes.
Oh god, I forgot about that. I literally forgot
The
about
Lover's
that.
Embrace, I believe it's called.
I made a
Yes.
concerted effort to remember that. Hiatus.
You have a couple buff.
Specifically, we have advantage on attacks on enemies when we're within 5 feet of each other.
Yep.
Indeed you do. Wait. Yeah, this is my voice now.
And we all leveled up to level 8, didn't we?
Yep, you should all be level 8 now.
Oh yes. Woohoo.
Because you did kill a god.
Damn right we did.
A pay limitation of a god, but
How much
Still
experience
counts.
for the god?
I would say that you've come downstairs now at this point.
so
I imagine Storm and Squish are like practically aglow. Very much in their own little world.
so
I would say anyone who's paying attention to roll a insight check.
Insight.
that's a 10. I mean, sorry, that's a 10.
Samael and Jeremiah, despite the happy glow of the kitty and the goblin, you notice that Anarchy does not look very happy. Neither does Ardeth and Orla.
Oh boy.
What's the matter? Why are you looking so gloomy?
You've just got the child's face on. Arms folded, that sort of pout. And Ardeth just shakes her and just goes, Anarchy's not too pleased with what I just told her.
What did you just tell her?
That when we get to Arcadia, she and Orla are going to remain on board Ark while we sort things out.
Sorry.
Hello!
Hello, Jurnis.
I have a choice.
Hello.
My internet decided to be a complete and utter cunt. Putting it
Tell me
nicely.
something new.
There might be life on Venus.
Okay.
Alright, so, I got to the point of, me saying I can see why she would be upset, and then it cut out.
Right. Are we broadcast again?
We believe so.
Okay.
As Frox has popped up saying the Squishy Storm show can continue.
There you go.
You then. Ardeth basically goes, like I said, I can't say for certain what to expect. Like I say, these aren't exactly my people.
But there used to be 2 millennia ago, yes? About that?
Yes, but their turn
That's what I figured. We have no idea of knowing what we're going into. And I doubt they stayed intended during that time, so what we've been fighting may have been child's play. Trinkets,
I told you what I've seen in the Mirror of Future.
Yes.
Yes.
The best of the best.
Yes, mixing up. What one day might be considered a toy, and another toy maybe. In terms of warfare.
But I digress. The point I'm getting at here is, as much as it sucks, Captain Anarchy, a place like that, a war zone where we're surrounded by enemies on all sides, is no place for a child.
And
I'm sure Miss Missy wouldn't appreciate us taking you into that environment anyway.
She certainly wouldn't.
She would be furious, I'm fairly certain about that.
She'd probably kill us. If anything happened to Anarchy, our lives wouldn't be worth living.
Yes, and as I said, Captain Anarchy, you need to protect Ark from harm.
If it's any consolation, situation is at its worst, you could take Ark and then just come charging in with him. Like, break the walls down, come save us. You know, like a true captain would.
Anarchy does seem to kind of cheer up a little at that, but yeah, you can tell she's not happy.
That's fair.
If you'd like, I can leave Radigan with you.
You hear the squeaks of Ratigan in agreement.
Squish reaches into her little waistcoat and produces this small, chunky rat that she has had since the start of the campaign.
Thanks to a certain elf vermin lord you met before.
I know who you're referring to.
Who may or may not show up again at some point.
I have a feeling Ratigan might get in trouble. You can keep an eye on him.
Ratigan nods and kind of Anarchy's shoulder.
You know, I have to say I'm impressed. One, that I didn't notice him. Two, that Bolt didn't notice him and eat him.
Don't eat my emergency food.
Roll me a perception.
50.
You've heard the expression the middle claw, haven't you?
I might have done.
Yeah, Ratigan's basically giving the middle claw to Bolt at that point.
Oh, the steely bird glare of rage. That follows this rat from here on.
You only mentioned eating him.
Of course I did, because Bolt would. Now he might actively try.
Did you think I was just shoving food into my inside pocket?
I mean, I get peckish a lot at the time.
You know what, I'm not... Yeah, sure. Squish is dropping this line entirely.
Yep, now get up here, you. Storm just grabs Squish and puts her up on his lap.
Anyway, we should probably get going.
I mean, we're gonna have, like, something to eat first.
I mean, after breakfast.
Yes, thank you. Can't go to war on an empty stomach.
So I assume we shall just quickly pass over breakfast and say we've had it.
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah, Storm, like, nuzzles into Squish's hair and grooms it.
I would usually say you two get a room, but it's early in the morning.
I mean, does Ark have private chambers?
Roll me a history check.
I believe for the captain he does.
I would say, since you had a quick look around, you know that there's 9 single berth cabins.
Well, it might be a squeeze, but I reckon there's somewhere private me and Squish could retire if we need to.
There's a will, there's a way, my boy.
Absolutely, possibly not in-game, Sammy.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll just...
Yes! But yes, I reckon, unless anyone has anything else they want to pick up before we go, we should go. Perhaps more health potions will be in order, but if everyone thinks we're good, we're good.
Let me check the little bag.
Actually, that reminds me, we actually got some like really nice potions last session, but nobody really doled them out. I took one for Storm, but I don't know if you guys want to split the remaining 5 between
I
you.
have a potion of healing.
We
I
did
took the
divvy them
Solar
out.
Axe, the Sentinel Shield, and the Ring of Secrets.
Yeah, we did divvy them out. We used a few as well.
Did we? Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Alright, well, I just wanted to bring it up just in case, because we might need those.
To be honest, I don't want to go to the old lady again.
In the bag, we have 5 potions of healing, 1 potion of greater healing, and 5 potions of superior healing.
Yeah, I remembered I added those.
Yes.
I didn't want us to forget about that, forget that we had them.
Mm.
Alright, so that's good. If you guys don't think we need to get any more, let's go to war!
And Midi is carrying a potion of greater healing in his little neck barrel.
That reminds me of something that needs discussing in game.
Yes.
Squish, sweetie. Couldn't help but notice that you were rather concerned about Midi after our altercation with the false god.
Yeah.
Are you, worried about him getting hurt? I reckon you are.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you worried about Bolt?
All the time.
It's just he doesn't seem fazed by it. And I don't know if it's because he's okay or if he's just too young.
Sorry, Jonas, you cut out a bit there, but I
That's
think the gist of what you're saying is Midi seems okay.
Basically, she says, Midi seems to be okay, but she doesn't know whether or not it's because he is okay or if he's just too young to realize what could have happened.
I mean, you've been studying Draconic, haven't you? How's your grasp on it?
Just a little shaky hand motion. I can do a little bit.
It's for you.
I didn't hear you that.
No worries. For you, Squish. It's the least I can do for you. Hey.
I don't know whether it's my internet or not, but you keep breaking up. I think it might
Yeah,
be.
I think everyone else is kind of just breaking up a bit too.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Very much.
Midnight kind of tilts his head from side to side and looks at you, Storm.
And in Draconic, Storm is going to say, how are you lately, Mid? Okay? Happy? Worried?
Midnight kind of just tilts his head for a second as if he's not frantically.
So you're fine then? Having a...
Yep. Yeah, he's just basically nodding and saying yep.
You don't want to stay on the ship with Anarchy and Red again?
He shakes his head rapidly at that.
Presuming shaking his head in a no?
Yeah, that's a no.
Yeah, just making sure. Don't want to give Squish the wrong message. Yeah, no, Squish, from what I could tell, Middy is not only fine, he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, I'm still gonna worry about you, big guy. Feels his arm, just gives him like little chin squitches and ear squitches.
Middy looks pretty happy.
Ah. You know, Squish, I realized something.
What's that?
Well, me and you, we're more or less.
You broke up, I didn't hear.
Kind of doesn't come through all the time.
Okay, Jurnis?
Are you here?
Hello?
Yes, I am here.
The others?
I am frustrated and annoyed, but I am here.
You are frustrated and annoyed, but you're here. Okay.
Do you need a moment to get the stream back up?
It should connect again in about 30 seconds. So, it cut out where basically you said you could do something for midnight or something like that. After Midnight expressed that he didn't want to stay on the ship.
Okay, well, what Storm is trying to get confirmation from Squish that, hey, we're a couple now, right?
We should now be going live again.
Okay.
Let me just quickly refresh the stream and check.
All right.
Yeah, we're live again. Woo!
Let's hope it sticks around for more than a couple minutes this time. Jeez.
Fucking better. I'm getting so sick of this router.
Uh,
Anyway, so you said we're basically a couple now, and Squish is like, I think so.
Well, I know so, but there's one person here who we haven't really talked to about that, have we? Because it has some pretty big ramifications for him. Storm's just pointing to Middy.
Hey,
wouldn't
Mitty.
it also have... Sorry.
Okay, I managed to resist throwing the router through the window. The stream is up and running.
Is it now?
Yep.
For now.
Okay.
Right!
I'm not barely holding back the urge to destroy something. What makes you think that?
I have no idea why I would think that you're quite tense.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will hold out for a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
It wasn't even that last time.
It will hold out for 5 minutes and 2 seconds.
Don't tempt fate, DerKork. I will fly to Germany.
I don't really want to piss fate off at the moment.
Anyway, so, Squish, being the blunt and emotionally stunted person that she is, turns to Midnight. You like Storm, right?
Midnight does the head flapping.
You want him to be your daddy.
Again, Midnight just flaps his head.
I think that's problem solved.
Yeah, that about sums it up. I was going to put a bit more gravitas on it, but hey, you're happy, Middy's happy, Bod's happy. That's all that matters to me. And I'm gonna hug the fuck out of all of you right now. Just scoops everyone up in a hug.
Middy, give Storm a tackle hug.
Midnight does. I could be mean and ask for a strength check, but this is a strength save.
Okay, let me quickly get Smitty's sheet.
Yeah, let's do that. Midnight, strength check. Storm, strength save.
Wow! Midnight got in that one.
Midnight just kind of... I wouldn't say concertinas into your chest, but yeah. That sort of impact.
It's like the dog that realizes halfway through that he has to stop or he'll hurt someone. Like,
Why do I hear an accordion?
Afraid you're not quite big enough to topple me over yet, Middy. But in time, my boy, in time. Pat, pat, pat. And Storm will just set Minnie down. Right, ready to go?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if we ran into any more, like, well, roadblocks, stopping us in our tracks for minutes at a time.
Okay. You all make your way from the tavern back to where Ark is docked. You make your way on board, and Anarchy, Orla, and Ardeth all go down to the command area, to the Ark room to basically tell him where to go.
Orla would be completely surprised since she's never been on the ship.
Yeah, I'd say Orla looks a little shocked at how advanced everything is, but she kind of settles into it.
Yeah, knowing Orla, she immediately goes into Paladin mode.
Ark starts to slowly make its way out into the tunnel leading outside, and it's not long before you find yourselves on the open water.
Whee!
Ardeth basically says, now if the rest of you would like to go up onto the main deck, Anarchy, Orla, you go into the bridge up top and I'll sort out this crystal. Do you all go up to the main? Is it you all go up to the main deck and I need to put some music on? Ambience.
I didn't know Ark had turbines.
Whoosh. Well, it is a technological ship.
Yes, but where are the sails? Ships usually have sails, as far as I understand it.
Yes, this isn't your first time on the top deck.
Yeah, but usually I've never paid too much attention to the four big spinning wheels at the side of the ship.
Well, I can confirm, as the only one amongst had history as a sailor, that yes, there are normally sails on board. But Ark doesn't require such things. Though it would be a shame if, you know, these magnificent, what did you call them, turbines, burnt out or something. Then we'd be dead in the water.
Like the ghost ship.
Yeah, on that note, wonder where our dear friend Captain Falkren is hiding.
A couple of minutes pass, and you suddenly hear Ardeth's voice. Is everyone okay up there?
Is there a reason we wouldn't be?
I would advise you hold on to something.
Okay, I better hold myself onto the railing then. Just be glad that that I didn't mentally go directly Star Trek and have Jeremiah Tefiscom badge. He doesn't have one.
No, he does not.
Squish is holding on to Storm, Storm's holding on to Squish and Minnie. Yeah.
Everybody secured?
Storm winces a little as Bolt digs in his talons into his shoulder. Yes, we're all good.
Okay, seems to find the right music. That'll do. You watch as the four turbines on the deck slowly arc to the side and lower over the side of the ship. They start to spin up. And roll me a perception check, please.
I don't like the sound.
You all notice disturbance in the water on either side of a ship. Just about there and there.
Oh, okay.
Sammy immediately readies his mace.
Now, hold on. There's a loud whooshing of water behind the ship. The turbines spin up, and you can feel the heat of the turbines as they go. Arc starts to accelerate.
I had heard of someone inventing flying machines using these screws, but never did I expect to be aboard one of those things.
I mean, it's not apparent the ship is flying yet, is it, Seph?
No, it's starting to lift.
Oh?
I mean, the shifting horizon line is a bit of a giveaway.
I prefer flying at midnight. This is weird.
Suddenly, darkness.
Yep, because I just need to very quickly move Specky.
Bum bum bum. Specky can't see shit.
You can see shit right now.
Yes.
And
We
it's not.
seem to be going through clouds or something.
It takes a few minutes, but it takes about a minute, but eventually Arc lifts up and ascends rapidly.
Okay, that's not very fun. Very fun.
They want me in an enclosed space, miles underwater. Perfect. Oh, no, this is much worse.
I mean, I feel like I'm only 3/4 of my usual height. And pressed down by the air. Look, I'm trying to explain acceleration in a way that Jeremiah would understand. In that direction, it's like falling, but the other way around.
I trust the takeoff was smooth.
It's alright, Squish. I got you, honey.
It's not like I've had many. How did you call it? Take-offs. Especially
Yes.
not with this type of contraption.
I love the fact everyone is just like feeling sick to their stomach and meanwhile just kind of looking over the edge and just going, there are only 2 words to this. Heavy cabeza! Wow! Never heard of an airship before. This is revolutionary!
Well, before we left, my people to create a massive mechanical dragon that worked on similar principles, but I don't know what happened to it. It probably exploded or something.
Why do I have the
Gee,
feeling?
I'd hate for that to end up in the hands of some idiots.
Yes, I would hate if we had to fight something like that.
Oh, Jeremiah, you know you just jinxed it, right? Then again, maybe a mechanical dragon after a dragon god would be a bit of a break.
Yeah.
I don't know who this jinx is, but every time they're mentioned, things go wrong.
Yes, they're I believe an old dwarven god of luck.
I was going to say, Storm, can you roll me a history check, please?
Oh boy, here we go. 12.
You do recall hearing about a Tabaxi pickpocket called Jinx, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I heard of a pickpocket called Jinx, a Tabaxi, large like myself. But that was like ages ago. No, doesn't really come up these days in conversation.
Well, you like to bring them up quite a lot.
Well, Jeremiah, I am an investigator. I've dealt with these ne'er-do-wells.
You also remember she wasn't that good. Very unlucky.
Yeah, unfortunately, she just sort of had a bad luck aura about her. You'd think it would just inconvenience her, but it inconvenienced others. You know, collateral damage and all that, so had to take her in regardless of her ineptitude.
Well, sticky fingers plus being a bumbling buffoon usually doesn't end well.
Mm-hmm. It's almost as if she pissed off Mask or something. Upsetting a god never ends well.
Especially not around these parts.
Mm-hmm.
Given
I mean,
that
us, on the
nature-
other hand, we can kick their ass.
Yeah, I mean, we've already kicked a god made of paper mache's ass, so to speak.
I thought she was made of metal.
I was talking about the fact that it was a phony, a replica. Something that is supposed to look like the real deal, but is not.
Alright, you're talking about the dragon. I thought you were talking about the the cheese
The
person.
Garuda!
Yeah, the cheese. The type of cheese.
Well,
I'm pretty sure
I mean,
Sammy kicked her ass.
I mean, don't speak too loud. She's bought the ship after all. Her life crystal.
I still don't like that, by the way.
Oh, there we go. A bit of casual conversation seems to settle the stomachs.
Yes, at least we're no longer focused on the clouds descending rather rapidly.
So,
You all...
where are we flying to?
We're flying for Arcadia.
Oh, great. The city
And
full of jerks.
Well, I'm hoping we'll be able to cut them down to size.
Well, I
Give
hope
them a slice of humble pie.
I hope there are a few among them who see us as more than just curiosities. And you can hear the bitterness in the word curiosity.
Yeah.
I mean, I forget that I can do that now. That I can put the spittle in the word and you hear it.
It's a beautiful thing, a half-decent mic.
Well, I can't say for certain what these people are going to be like after all. Like I say, I'm something of an antique amongst them.
Well, hopefully there are some among them who have a more forward-leaning view of the world and accept that others exist among them and not beneath them. Then
We
again,
can only hope.
it feels like there's a bit of a hive mind mentality among them.
It takes a few minutes before you see Arcadia coming into view, still phasing in and out of existence. As you approach, you notice the city seems quiet. Unusually so.
I knew it.
As
I don't like this.
I would like everyone to make me a quick Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting to be asked.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
no!
Okay.
Son!
Why do I have the feeling that they're using a weapon on me? And why am I feeling sick to my stomach?
Okay, 1 second, so that's... Jeremiah and Bolt, you both start to feel very queasy. The ship seems to start to shake and vibrate as a flash of warmth washes over you. Everyone else, you still feel a little nauseous, but yeah, you don't feel too bad. Ardeth, however, looks like she's completely unaffected.
How are you looking so cheery?
Ardeth just kind of blinks from behind her mask.
Wearing a mask, how can you tell what she looks like?
I mean, you seem to... Are you all feeling...
Arcadia exists in Arcadia must exist in some kind of pocket plane.
I'm just gonna say that during that, like, Bolt would have actually fallen off Storm's shoulder, and he would have like caught his baby boy, just rubbed his back. Hey, attaboy, son.
Many people are used to using portals and transferring between planes. Evidently, to be honest, I didn't expect it. I'll admit it, I did not expect this to happen, but evidently we didn't iron all the kinks out of our planar technology.
So we just passed through a portal into another plane, yeah?
Essentially, basically we're in what can be described as a demi-plane.
Ah. Well, better get used to that feeling, guys. I'm sure it won't be the first or last time. Especially for you, Sonny Jim, if your plans come to fruition. Storm says he just scritches like the bridge of Bolt's nose.
I think we'll be able to.
A few minutes pass as you continue to approach the flying city. And I just need to find the correct one for this. Apologies, there we go, that's the one. This isn't the actual artwork, it's just some artwork I found that looks relatively close.
Fair enough.
Party.
Yes. You start approaching the city. You can see on its north, you assume it to be north. Its northern tip at the 12 o'clock point is what appears to be a large palace. To the south there appears to be a large administrative factory sort of area. And on the east and west points are two large hangars. In the centre is what appears to be a large dome structure. You slowly make your way towards the western side of the city and make your way inside the large hangar. You can tell that this was designed for a ship larger than Ark, but there's two or three that are kind of sat in dock, but they aren't active. They don't seem to actually have any power. You watch as Ark slowly settles in one of the bays, and a few docking clamps extend to basically hold Ark in place.
And this whole time we didn't see anyone?
No, it is eerily quiet again.
Where is everybody?
Well, remember what I said earlier? That we should be all the more suspicious if we don't encounter any trouble. This is that situation.
Say...
I was going to make a perception check.
Sammy, as you were approaching the city, you could see into the streets. You would see people going about their daily business, but it was clear they were hurrying to get where they need to get to.
Ark, do you hear me?
I think we have to go down to the chamber to talk to him.
Alright. we're gonna pass by it anyway, and leave Captain Anarchy as well.
Okay, are you actually going into the chamber?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Ark is kind of stood there, waiting. Yes, Mr. Jeremiah, is there anything I can help you with?
Can you tell me where everyone is? I would have suspected that our approach would have been noticed, and there would have been some sort of welcoming committee.
Well, I cannot access the city's systems directly. I believe that our arrival has been noticed. However, that I am insulated from their systems. Therefore, they cannot force their way on board. But I believe that they do not have any security devices in this area.
Seems an odd choice. Can you, with your what did you call them again? Your sensors. Can you detect any Arcadians in the vicinity? Outside, of course, of any foreclaimers. Outside, of course, of the Ardeth.
There's a couple of moments, and Ark tilts his head. No, I cannot sense any foreclaimers within the area. At least not within this part of the building.
I expect you can't see beyond this part of the building.
I am afraid not.
Well, in that case, we leave you with Captain Anarchy, Orla, and Ratigan. They're going to take great care of you, if you understand what I mean.
Indeed, and I shall be taking care of them.
Alright, and you, Captain Anarchy, don't come running for us until you have the feeling that everything has gone to hell and back, okay?
Anarchy just kind of nods. And kind of sits down and just... She knows, just kind of get comfortable.
Alright, Captain. Permission to deboard.
I have already prepared the boarding ramp for you.
I was talking to Captain Anarchy and asked her for her permission to leave.
Anarchy just nods.
Alright, Anarchy.
Fine, I'll stay here. Ark, any games?
There are a few that we can play, Captain.
Cool.
You leave Anarchy, Orla, and Ark to basically amuse themselves.
And just
And-
Why are there so many chairs in the room all of a sudden? Oh, probably musical chairs.
You make your way.
I was making a joke
To-
about Tetris, but okay.
You make your way to the boarding hatch, which slowly opens, allowing you all to leave. You make your way out onto the dock.
So there's one thing I would like to immediately do.
Okay.
But it's been a while since I've done this. Where are you? Primeval awareness, humanoids. Let's
Okay.
see. Within 5 miles.
You can sense quite a few a few thousand people living in this city.
Okay. So it's not a complete, like, ghost town. There are people here.
There's you can't count exactly, but you can tell there's thousands of people living here.
But no idea how close anyone is to our current position.
you can sense a lot of people in the immediate area around this building.
Hmm.
If they're all in the boiler room.
Alright.
What are they? The Boilermen?
I was making a reference to aliens. Or aliens. Where all the residents were moved down under the reactor.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, everyone, I gave it a quick sweep with my ranger senses. There's at least a couple thousand, people in this city. And there's a fair amount of them around this area, so it's not a complete ghost town here.
Yeah, but shouldn't they come out and see who pulled into their dock? I mean, we pulled into the Pirate Cove and we had, quick count on her fingers, 7,000 crossbows pointed at us.
Well, we were noticed before.
Might have been more. I can't count them good.
Yeah, I didn't count them.
Oh, Squish, you're mistaken. It's more like 13,000 crossbows.
Well, that's the advantage of when everyone goes crossbow akimbo. Everyone holding 2 crossbows. Anyway,
Alright, enough with the banter, guys.
we shouldn't linger too long,
But why
or
aren't-
otherwise
Why aren't
the
there
welcoming
lots of
committee will be
crossbows
here.
or are there laser thingies pointed at us? It doesn't make sense.
What is a laser?
Oh yeah,
Does
that
anyone want to
beam that they
roll
already
me?
used.
Does anyone want to roll me perception?
Yes,
I
please.
would very much like to do that.
A laser is a beam of light that goes pew pew.
It's the
Right,
thing that
first thing-
Sammy does every now and again.
So that's a 22 from Bolt. And from Storm,
Let's get
well,
back
it's
into
15.
it.
I would say you all notice that opposite where Arca's docked, where the other large ship is, you can see a large number of glass cases and boards with text written on them.
Well, is it text we can read?
That depends. Who can read Elvish?
Well, bugger.
Sammy
No.
can, if somebody will point it out to him.
Sam?
Yeah, let's just say, Storm will do so.
I'd say it's a reasonably large text, printed text. So yeah, you'd notice it.
Let's see. And what does it say?
You can't tell for some of it's not quite Elvish, so you're having a hard time with a few words. But basically, it's just talking about this particular ship.
Wait,
Uh,
this isn't just a dock. This is Ark's dock?
this is a museum?
Arc.
No, it's not Ark. It's opposite Ark.
Ardeth,
Oh,
given
okay.
what Sammy just said, that it's talking about the ship, could it be that this is a museum of some sort?
Ardeth just kind of looks in the glass case. I would say definitely museum.
Makes sense. I mean, Ark's at least 2,000 years old. He's a relic.
It's not that. I don't think the people here have had to leave this city in so long that these docks basically became useless.
Oh. Kind of up in the isolationist tendencies up to 11.
Well,
when
to
you
be
have
fair,
portals, you don't need to go by ship.
exactly.
Well, at least that I got so far.
Assuming they go anywhere.
Oh,
To be fair, given what happened to our original homeworld and homeworld I destroyed, it's not surprising that the Arcadians would be reluctant to go anywhere.
Fair enough. But speaking of going places, where do we go from here? Where's our destination?
Well, I think to learn exactly what's going on, we have to go to that palace-looking place.
It's a reasonable assumption. That's where we're heading.
Hey, Kork, you're like really quiet on my end.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Should I be louder? Is this loud enough?
Yes.
I was actually looking away. Sorry, I wasn't talking directly into the microphone.
Okay. I just trying to figure out if it was something on my end or your end.
It was basically me.
Okay.
I'm trying not to shout anymore, so might be a little bit quieter. Yes, it seems like going to that palace place is a good explanation as to get to the bottom of this. I mean,
Well, I doubt we're just going to be able to waltz right in there. Ardeth, these are your stomping grounds. It's your call.
Again, I've never actually set foot in this city.
Oh! I see. Fair enough.
well,
We're gonna be lost as shit.
Then I guess Jeremiah is on point. We should just make our way to the palace, since that is where
actually,
we're going to have to start wrecking shit.
if we want to learn more about the city, this is probably the best place to go. I mean, it's a museum. Museums usually tell you about the place they are from, they belong to. And maybe we can pick up a map at the gift shop.
We could ask someone nicely. Squish cracks her knuckles.
Squish. There's no one around, it seems.
There's no one around yet.
In this building. Once they discover that they've acquired a new relic, I'm fairly certain this place will be swarming, but they will not be willing to answer our questions.
Ooh, I just had a bad idea. Us being put on display. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, can we please go somewhere? I'm getting really bad vibes.
I'm sorry, Ardeth, I didn't catch that.
I would recommend against tempting fate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we learn a bit about the place, we might be able to make our way a little bit better.
Well, if you want to put Sammy through all that translating.
Oh,
Okay,
Sammy,
yeah.
do you want to read, or do you want to possibly beat someone up with your mace?
I mean... It's okay, Sammy, you can be honest here. They're among friends.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of something funny to call the mace.
I mean, you can put the old knocker through its paces.
No, it's made from
I
a
was thinking
dragon
something
tooth,
like
isn't it?
I was thinking something like Mr. Smashy.
The
It was made from a dragon tooth,
question
right? Why not call it the smile?
called Dragon Horn. We can nice. Give me 1 second. Where the hell did
That's
I put
fine.
it?
Well, if it was made from a
Name on
horn, why
this.
not call it the point? And we'll see if your enemies get the point.
No, you're not giving me a chance to because the actual weapon is named Pronoscril.
Isn't tight.
There, prong. That'll do.
Does anyone have a? Does anyone have a passive perception above 16?
Ooh, that's pretty high. I'll have to double check. I have 16 exactly. So meets it beats.
Yep, you notice there's some movement going on
Squish is as oblivious as fuck. She sees nothing.
Alright. Any idea what I see, or just movement? Is that as vague as it gets?
Roll me a perception check.
Okay. 17. Bit better.
Let's see. Yeah, you notice some hooded figures wearing blue masks, sort of moving around to surround you all.
Oh shit.
Waited too long.
Yep. Blah, 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 blah.
You're
You're
looking like the welcoming committee is here.
You don't know that.
You look like that.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Storm's just gonna quickly awaken by the message around the party. Look alive, we got company, and they don't look friendly.
Mm-hmm. Well, those are most intriguing specimens here.
I'm going to be a bit more specific. We're being surrounded.
I don't like.
If anyone wants to roll me a perception check.
I apparently still have tears in my eyes, a little bit at least.
Everyone but Samael, you notice the hooded figures starting to surround you, leveling crossbows at you. They're not ready to fire, but it's more of a sort of defensive stance.
Called it with the crossbows.
Oh, I see. The welcoming committee has arrived.
Well, Ardeth, these are your people. Do you want to field this, or shall I?
Squish does like the Stitch thing. Hi.
As Squish speaks, one of them steps forward very cautiously and says something in Elvish, but you assume to be Elvish. I'd say only Sammy and Ardeth would know what he's actually saying.
So did this guy, like, advance towards Squish?
No, he's advanced a little, but he's basically just covering you all with his crossbow.
Ardeth.
Well, protective cat boyfriend is going to edge just a bit closer to his goblin bay.
What did they say, Sammy?
They're asking what we're doing here. Nobody move. They don't seem like a threat yet.
I suspect tourism is not a valid answer.
No way, Jose.
Who has a passive perception above 14?
Storm does, so does Bolt.
I have a passive perception of 14.
Jeremiah, Storm, and Bolt. You can hear whispers. At midnight, you can all hear a couple of the hooded figures whispering to each other, and you hear Ardeth's name.
Ardeth, don't tell me that's your fan club.
Jeremiah, I'm a war criminal to these people.
You wouldn't believe who all gets fans these days.
Maybe we should have got you a different mask.
Would anyone like to roll me an insight?
Sure, let's see if Squish can figure
Sure.
shit out.
Bolt, Storm, seriously, man, you have a +6 to insight.
Yeah, you still have only eyes for your
Jeremiah.
darling.
It's
And
true.
Storm, you have no idea what's going on, but Samael and Squish, you can tell from the general air of these people that they're really not used to this situation. This is alien to them. Not so much meeting outsiders, but more just holding weapons. And you could tell from the way they mentioned Ardeth that they seem to be in awe of her.
Fan club.
Ardeth, I don't think that.
Go on, Issy.
Ardeth, I don't think they're here to arrest you. It seems more like they're impressed by you.
It doesn't look like they know how to use those crossbows. That guy has it pointed at his toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, their stance is awful.
And Sammy says in Elvish to them, look, we mean you no harm. Do any of you happen to speak common?
The leader kind of clears his throat a little and says, "We have some knowledge, but not much. We learned it from observing your world, but I can't say we're exactly fluent. Not all of us, anyway."
Well, your common is better than my Elvish, that I can assure you.
A conversational level is perfect enough. You don't need to know every word.
Just don't expect me to give directions or direct light opera.
That's quite all right. I don't think we need directions at the moment. My name is Samael Morningstar. These are my associates. Squish. Storm upon the sea.
Polite nod.
Jeremiah Undermean.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
And it appears that you at least know of Ardeth.
This is the Ardeth Berlim?
Yes, it is.
I can't believe it. I mean, we only have the stories and the histories to go off, but I apologize. I apologize. I'm a bit nervous. I've never met a historical figure before.
Well, I can also assure you that she means you no harm as well.
Oh, that's exactly what we were hoping for. Come, we'll take you to the base. We can explain more when we get there.
Oh, thank you. Please, lead the way.
You watch as this band of Arcadians lead you over towards this grate in the floor. One of them kind of lifts it, and you all kind of make your way inside. You climb down this staircase and down into a system of tunnels.
I presume Sammy gives us the gist of the exchange.
That was all in common.
No, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Sorry.
Everybody remember where we parked. I mean...
Hang on, digs on keys. Whoop, whoop.
Well, Ardeth, you may think of yourself as a war criminal, but to some it seems you're a war hero.
That very much depends on who you're asking, I suppose. But...
From a certain point of view.
Precisely.
In the words of an ancient philosopher.
It takes about half an hour of walking through these tunnels before you start to notice lines in the wall, in the floor. Glowing yellow lines.
Is it reminiscent of the lines that are around Ardeth's body?
Roll me a Arcana check.
Well,
sure, ask Squish to do that.
With advantage.
I will. do that as well.
Ah!
Storm, you ain't got a clue. Squish and Samael, you've been around Ardeth long enough to know that the lines on her body are caused by the power crystal in her stomach.
Well, they certainly smell like it.
And I would say through logical deduction, you realise that these are basically power conduits.
You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I may
Yeah,
not know what it is, but can I tell if these lines are magical as fuck?
you can sense very faint magic. Very faint magic. You know that... I'd say you know enough about the Foreclaimer technology to know that it's closer to science than magic, but there is still a little bit of the arcane involved.
Gotcha.
It pulses at 50 hertz. In other parts of Arcadia, it pulses at 60 hertz.
As you're led through the tunnels, you start to notice the large, heavy vault doors situated around the place. Eventually, the leader takes you up to one, slowly starts to undo the wheel, and opens it, revealing a small interchamber. Please, just step inside.
All right.
Actually,
And
Squish is gonna
Jeremiah-
have a little look around the room first before she steps inside to see if she notices anything trappish.
Jeremiah's actually going to... I'm going to go inside the guy, though it's difficult. Masks and everything.
yes, Sammy's going to also make a perception check to see. Well, never mind.
Okay.
Perception
One
or
second.
investigation?
I would say perception.
You check the room. I check the guy who says, go in, go in. Nothing bad will
Okay.
befall you.
Jeremiah, you can tell he's extremely nervous, but you can't really tell if that's due to meeting Ardeth, finally meeting some people from the outside, or just if he's just generally nervous. Everyone else with those perception checks, you can't see anything wrong with this room.
I mean, that doesn't put Samael at ease. That just means he's going to have to keep an extra eye out.
You notice two of the masked figures also step into the room.
I'll just say that Storm just kind of mutters down to Squish and Goblin. From what I can tell, it's not trapped. It should be fine. But if you want, I can go in first.
I don't want us to get split up.
Hmm.
We need to stick together. I don't like
Together, then.
Well, that too, but I was talking about the whole group. But yeah, sure, that too. Yeah.
I think they're expecting that from us.
I'm just gonna say, like, at that, like, Storm just kind of, like, maneuvers his tail around Squish, like, right around her waist, and just gently pushes her forward along with him as he crosses the threshold. Very much together.
As you enter, nothing happens.
Hooray!
The two masked figures who went in ahead of you are basically stood by the far wall.
Alright, I presume we just head deeper in. We follow at this point. Unless we want to do more perception checks.
Well,
You all make your way inside. Most of the masked figures have followed you in. A couple have remained with the leader, who's basically shut the door behind you, locked it. And you watch as the two who entered first make a few hand signs and place their palms against the wall.
Got a spell!
I-
No, mind you.
I would like everyone to make me a constitution save, please.
oh,
I
great.
knew it!
Not again.
Well, this time I feel a little bit better having emptied my stomach. Earlier.
Yeah, you all feel a slight hint of nausea, but compared to the first time you went through for an Arcadian portal, this one's a lot smoother. And you notice that the wall ahead of you has now vanished, as has the door behind you. And you find yourself in what is basically a little alcove off a large room full of Arcadian people doing various things, checking through crates, looking through weaponry.
I think we may have arrived at the time of La Revolution.
The time of La Revolution? What do you mean by that? Do you think we traveled through time?
No, it's just a saying. I think we just arrived at the time where the Arcadian people are ready to overthrow their oppressors. You know, adopt a new way of life.
That,
Well,
I
to
think
be
I
honest,
accidentally started one of those once.
to be honest, it could just be that they're checking the inventory of the museum.
Man, you need to read some adventure novels, Jeremiah.
Samael is gonna try and talk to the guy leading them. And in Elvish, since he's more familiar with it. So, if I could ask, what's happening around here? I mean, I don't mean to offend, but you guys don't seem to be well accustomed with those weapons.
To be fair, we are not. Most our people used to fight our wars with machines. We have a few of them, but none of them are functional. But unfortunately, the demon has access to a large number of them, as well as the creatures.
The demon, you say?
Yes, though I believe you've met her. She's called the Overseer.
What are you talking about, guys?
And he turns back to the group in common. Yeah, we have to help these guys. The Overseer seems to be causing problems.
Oh, the jerk's doing something jerky. Why am I not surprised?
Well,
Yeah, tell us something we don't know.
Dogs can't look up.
So
Huh.
she's talking. So, do I understand it correctly that she is screwing things up for these people, and he gestures into the room as well?
Yes, apparently so. She apparently has access to plenty of the machines that we have been fighting.
Yeah, she seems to be very, very fond of them.
Yes, they have a few of them. I don't know, Ardeth, could you possibly prepare them? Know anything about them?
I can't say that mechanics are exactly my field of expertise. I was a magic researcher, remember?
Yeah, that makes sense. And switching back to Elvish and talking to the guy. So, how long have you been fighting her? We've had a few encounters ourselves. Luckily, been able to get out all of them, but
I believe that it all began when the experiments happened. It was I can't really say for certain. It was all I can remember. It was about 4 years ago. May have been longer. It's hard to really know for certain. So much happens in the palace that we don't get told about.
So you've been at this for a while, I see. And that's not a good sign. We ourselves are. That's actually the reason we're here, is to try and stop her and save, I guess now, both of our worlds.
Speaking to the
Okay.
best.
Hello?
So we have some
Testing, 1, 2.
Heyo.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Here, can hear you. You're cutting out of times, but say again.
You'd be better off speaking to the professor. She knows more about those experiments than anyone here. Again, I can't.
Professor.
All right, well, can you take us to the professor then?
See what I can do. Please wait here. Well, I need to let people know that you're here first.
Fair enough.
Jeremiah gestures to someone who's holding an axe the wrong way and shows them the international symbol of flip the thing around. There you go.
You notice this Arcadian walk off. You notice. I'd like you to roll perception checks, please.
Wait a second. Don't tell me some of them are. Don't tell me some of them are.
Oh, come on, Sammy! What, did you use all your good rolls at the beginning? Fuck off.
To be honest, all I rolled was a 13, which is
Okay,
lower than my
let's
passive.
see. Gonna say I can't see Sammy's roll.
He got a 4.
4 and a 17.
Oh yeah, there we are. 4. Yeah. Everyone but Sammy, you notice that there's a mixture of women and children here as well. This is basically people who are in hiding.
Are they getting ready for battle too?
I would say with your 14, some of the women are, but the children aren't.
Okay. So, Sammy, was I basically on point? Did we arrive just on the eve of revolution?
Not exactly. They've apparently been at this for a while.
Whoa, I see. So it's been a long, drawn-out civil war.
More or less.
These people don't seem well equipped for the task.
Yeah, it's like I said, they have a few of those machines, but none of them are working, and those weapons are all they have.
Well, we may not be able to help with the machines all that much, but we have one we could offer them, Arc, and we can all use our weapons quite handily. I mean, I've got about a good 40 years of combat experience. I wouldn't mind teaching them which way to hold a sword. I mean, we can't solve this problem for them. At least not do all the legwork, because then they wouldn't be the ones taking their freedom. That's something they should do. It's the people's right. But we can help them.
I have to say that I agree with you, my friends. As you hear that, you look up and see a familiar face.
Wait, is that the guy who was an absolute prick to us whenever we were trying to save Ardeth back at the start?
Roll me a history check.
Sure.
History.
At one stage, he basically patted Squish in the head and sent her away with a shiny thing to distract her.
There's no point stormrolling history, because he was here for that.
Yep.
Yeah, you went here. Let's see. Squish and Jeremiah, you don't remember this guy, but Samael, you do remember this was the guy who helped Ardeth recover from her coma. He was the leader of the Four-Claimer Conclave, living beneath the city, living beneath the mountain. He's the one who basically told you to go and destroy the city and find Ark.
I thought you stayed behind.
No, when the overseer came, she was all up to what is up here.
Oh, you're that guy. Oh, I
Silent,
remember.
yes.
Yes, this is the
to
person
see
who
you again.
saved Ardeth, in a way.
Well,
Also the one who sent us on our way and get Ark and destroy that city. Seems like you've gotten yourself into a right pickle.
Yes, quite.
You're the guy who didn't believe me about the ducks.
To
You
be
made
fair,
that face too.
yeah, he does look kind of. Yes, you did tell me that story. He still doesn't quite believe you on that.
Wow, disbelief so obvious you didn't even need an insight check.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
can assume as soon as Squish started talking to him, he just like pinched the bridge of his nose and went, "Oh, this idiot again."
I'll
German
be honest.
fingers.
I'll be honest with you, my friends. The people here are not in good condition.
Yes, I can see that. You also seem to be both under-equipped and under-experienced.
Yes, I mean, my people were not exactly trained warriors. We have some experience of using the war mechs. A few of us were skilled with the blade, but not to the degree these people need.
I mean, we obviously can't spend years training, but we can at least, we could possibly spend a few days teaching the basics.
Give him a real crash course.
It would be
Yes.
appreciated.
Sammy, some of them are holding their swords almost by the blade.
I mean, let's see what all weapons you have available. I know I saw some people brought us here had some axes and crossbows, but let's see what else you have.
Silith takes you over to the store. You can see they've got a decent supply of crossbows, enough swords to go around, a lot of daggers, a few axes. You can see a couple of great swords and great axes peppered in there, a few mauls. But it's mostly ranged weaponry.
Okay, well, Storm and I can help teach the ranged weaponry. Jeremiah can teach basically everything else.
I'm more versed in axes, though I'm not very well with these things, and he points to the few rapiers that are hanging in the rafters.
I mean, I'm something of a Renaissance man. I can cover. Did any of that come through just now?
No, we just got to cover and that was it.
Ah. Well, I can cover that. I'm something of a Renaissance man. I can handle all manner of blades.
That's good. And Squish can teach some hand-to-hand combat.
I could punch things really hard.
Nice, yes, she can, I believe. She's dented quite a few, caused some major dents in quite a few of the Overseer's mechs.
And she turned a goat man into a bloody pop against my abs.
You hurt Mitty.
Yeah, no one hurts our son. No way, Jose. It ain't happening.
I see. Well, I understand the people here will be grateful for whatever assistance you can provide.
I just
Suppose there's
hope that
no better time than the
will
present.
Aye, we're more than happy to provide it. Though I am wondering, what is the plan from there? Like, are there any grand assaults planned? We just kind of arrived.
Yes. We're also trying to go after the Overseer, like I said. So, honestly, if we can help you strategize, more power to you.
So
I agree. It will be difficult, as I say. People here are not used to war. We bear in mind that until 5 years ago, Arcadia had basically had 2,000 years of peace.
yes. So what exactly happened? I mean, you couldn't tell me when we were down there, and well, it seems like my wish for you didn't pan out. Instead of changing their view, it seems the Overseers doubled down.
That's just it. It's because of the Overseer that all this has happened.
Well, at least one version of her has been dead.
Yes.
Bit on acid and kicked the bucket.
That is the problem.
Yes, we don't know
The
exactly.
Overseer can basically she can basically transfer herself into a new body as needed.
Meaning we don't know how many copies of her we have to face. That should be our primary target.
As far as I'm aware, there is only ever one at a time.
Yes, but we don't know how many of herself she has on cold storage.
Exactly. There's not just her we need to worry about.
Yes, we've come across other recreations.
I hate to interrupt, but I believe the lovely Squish has something to say.
I'm sorry, Squish.
Ah, yeah, she has other bodies. They're just, like, unconscious until she uses them, right?
Pretty much.
Then can we go to where they're all, like, sleeping and... She makes a little throat-slitting gesture. And then when we
yes, Squish, that was...
And when we do find her, she has nowhere else to go.
That is one of the things we have considered, but the production facilities for the abominations is very well guarded.
Let me guess. At least one Garuda-style creature?
The Garudas are not too bad. They're not exactly frontline war machines. Possibly a Nefrit, but mostly the Sentinel.
The Sentinel, that's like the thingy that looks like a doll with, like, swords for arms, right?
That's
Correct.
the statues, yes.
Now we've kicked their asses.
I believe that you've only ever faced my time period Sentinels. The newer ones are somewhat more dangerous.
Oh yeah, we had encountered
complicated
ancient
things.
ones.
Is there any backways, underground entrances?
We would need. We have identified a few places, but again, we don't exactly have the manpower to commit to such an action just yet.
I just had the craziest idea. This place is governed by a spirit in a crystal, right? Like Arc.
Yes, a machine spirit. Eden.
Yes. Eden. What is their stance on this, or has the overseer basically just said, "Oh, he's okay with that," and
to be honest, we can't tell. We can't even get anywhere near Eden to find out. We can't. If he sanctions this or not, we can't be. We don't know.
I'm getting father's headaches with pictures.
Yes, Squish.
Right, you said you don't have enough power for an assault, right? Right. What if?
Exactly.
What if you get your best guys? We teach them a few things, and then they pretend to attack one side, to make a lot of noise, and then we go in the other side.
If you're meaning a diversion, we would need quite a lot of preparation.
Well, yeah, but you just cause some noise and then run away.
It's not quite very easy. Basically, Eden has forbidden us from fighting within the city itself. That is the only thing we know he has decided.
So, go make them faces and run away. Tease them.
Dare I ask how this rule is enforced and what the punishment is?
Oh, that's a good.
Well, as you already know, there are the Sentinels.
Mm-hmm.
As well as
the Overseer's workforce.
That's just it. The Overseer is... I really can't explain that well. The Overseer was designed... I'm sorry, like I said, it's hard for me to explain it. I don't know.
Okay.
It's alright.
You would need to ask the professor, and at the moment she isn't here.
Well, where would we find her?
That's just it. She's gone off somewhere. She has a hidden lab somewhere else in the city. I'm assuming that... She said she would be back soon. She's just going to collect a few samples, but... I honestly don't know where it is.
You give...
One more question.
Go ahead.
How did you guys know that we pulled into the dock?
We've been keeping our eyes on the skies, so to speak.
Okay, so you just basically saw us come in. Would the jerk have been able to see us too?
It's highly likely the Overseer knows you're here.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
How did you manage to keep
That
her out?
she's
She
not just gonna
would
sit
have
there
probably been all over the place as soon as we arrived. Instead, everyone
Actually,
seemed to be away.
that is one of the advantages of Eden's decree. She can't take military forces into the residential area.
Okay.
Which means that the museum where your ship is docked and the large residential district on the opposite side of the city are both off limits to her.
So she only can screw things up in the city center.
Pretty much.
I'm not going. I know this is a beautiful place, but I'm not going to the market then. Don't want to
Yes,
run into it.
to be fair, there aren't exactly markets here.
A city without a market at its center?
To be fair, Eden provides everything people need.
So just like gather together to talk and stuff.
That's the problem again. The Overseer is preventing Eden from being as proactive as he would be.
You guys are weird.
So,
But the people are not starving, so that is at least something.
so,
at least a good start.
so, the Overseer is working alone? How could she do that?
She is not working alone.
How could he?
At least not in terms of enforcement.
Okay, yes, I
Is it
understand
somebody-
that the Sentinels are there, and
It's not the Sentinels, it is her abomination.
abomination.
Well, Jeremiah, we did just fight a homemade god. Maybe that's an abomination.
Come
I
with
was
me.
going to get that, yes.
Come with me.
Alright.
Seraph leads you over to a small doorway. He steps through, invites you all inside, and you can see in the centre is a plinth, similar to the one you've seen projecting holograms, similar to Arc. As he looks through a few of the crystals that are already implanted into it, he activates them one by one. 1 second, I just need to find the thing. The first of the abominations. In life, he was Elwin Shatterstar, a powerful and celebrated musician amongst our people. However, well, the overseers made.
We've met him.
Yeah.
Then you already know how powerful he is. The next is the deadliest of the overseer's pets. Adira Kelvados. She was a master assassin in our time, and unfortunately she seems to have retained her skills. She's the one
the overseer's puppets.
Yes, she is the one the overseer tends to deal with problem individuals. The last is the one she sends in when she needs to deal with a lot of problem individuals at once. Galbeth Tilraster. Incredibly strong, and one of the best warriors in my people's history.
Well,
Is actually making an inside check on Ardeth because
Yeah, ditto.
Okay.
Hang on, baby. Come on, Storm, do good. That's more like it, son.
1 second, man.
Because the player suspects that Ardeth is
Not reacting to this very well.
She's vibrating.
Let's see, Jeremiah, you can't notice anything, but Storm, yeah, you can tell Ardeth is pissed. A long time ago, these people were heroes to the Foreclaimers. They stood and held a portal when Xana destroyed our people's home. They stood with Ardeth that day.
Aye, as I understand it, they were some of your closest friends, right, Ardeth?
That's correct.
And we already know that Elwyn isn't exactly humanoid anymore, which implies, well, necrotics, resurrection gone wrong, or
Again,
just puppeteering.
Again, I can't really give you the full details. I'm not exactly a scientist. The professor knows more about this than anyone, but until she arrives, there's not much we can do. But as you yourself suggested, you can help teach these people at least a little on how to fight. But
As we can.
You could teach. I don't know how many of them are adept with the arcane, but if you could teach some, no. My friends will be able to teach them what they need to know.
Yes. I think Ardeth's teachings should only be as a last resort.
All the same, Ardeth, you are an icon to these people. Just you being around will bolster their spirits for the fight ahead. You should consider at least showing them a thing or two.
You can at least teach them how to fight physically.
I think I understand
You're
why Ardeth
quite handy with a blade yourself.
Hmm.
Magic in the wrong hands can destroy as much as it can help things grow.
Oh, I believe anyone who can cast a spell knows that. Doesn't have to be magic. I mean, I fought you, Ardeth. I know you're pretty much a dab hand of a blade.
It's not so much that. It's more that last time I led these people into a war, it was different. I was different.
Times do change. And so can you. Perhaps this is your chance to atone for past actions.
You can do it differently this time, and this time you got all of us goofballs backing you up.
Again, it's not that easy. It's the last time I led my people into war because of my own petty vengeance, my own anger. How is this any different?
Well, this time you're fighting for a noble cause.
Yes, you've got to remind yourself, Ardeth, and perhaps remind us. Why are you here? Why have you come back then, if not to fight for what's right?
That's a problem. That's the thing. If it was just us, if it was just me, then that would be fine. But I don't want to take people who. These people are going to die if we take them in there with us.
Well, unfortunately, casualties are part of war.
But
our job is to minimize as many as possible.
You think I don't know that when I've led a revolution before? When I've been in war?
Just a brief reminder, but...
Alright, Ardeth, we won't twist your arm. I just thought I'd present it as an option. They clearly look up to you. If you change your mind...
Well, they're fools.
Yeah, but they're fools willing to fight for what they want. I'm not saying we put them in harm's way. No, that's stupid. Don't look
Nope.
like that.
Hey,
We're just going to teach them how to properly swing a sword and to shoot a bow.
Ardeth,
if they want to do more than that, then that's...
Smart.
Ardeth.
They do something smart to help us. They don't need to get into the fight.
Or alternatively, instead of them serving as a distraction for us, we can serve as a distraction for them.
Ah, yes. We can take it. We can distract more of the big boys. And then, well...
Like I said, the plan to attack wherever these creatures are being created is a solid plan. I have no problem with that.
Just don't want to possibly sacrifice these people.
Exactly.
Hey, which one of you guys knows how to royally mess up the machine that makes these things?
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I swing Devillo into it really hard, that'll fuck it up something fierce.
Speaking of Devillo, you shouldn't use him to teach them how to swing a sword. You know how he is.
That's a fair point. I'll probably use some of their other great swords. I'm sure they got some spare.
I just want to make...
Either way, it will... I'd appreciate it if you help. It will be a couple of hours before the professor returns, and I need to make a few discreet inquiries.
Fair enough, my friend. We'll get on that soon enough.
Ardeth.
Yes, Jeremiah.
We're not teaching the goal is not for us to teach them how to go and fight, but how to survive when someone comes and attacks them. That is how I see it. I'm not throwing these people under the carriage. These people need to be able to defend themselves against the oppressor. We're not sending them to be slaughtered.
I trust all of you to be able to do that.
I just want you to know that I understand your position and that I respect your choice.
There is, I have a habit of putting my foot in my mouth, so I might as well be out of it. Ardeth, there is a very good chance that we'll be facing off with your old friends. Are you prepared to face that?
The simple fact of the matter is, they're not my friends anymore.
Well.
So, she has no allegiance anymore.
Any shadow of the old friend is gone, I presume.
I would say so.
Fair enough, but there's something I got to get off my chest. We are in the thick of enemy territory, with an enemy that knows you rather well. They might have other nastiness to throw at you, echoes from your past to throw at you, in order to throw you off your game. There's no way I could tell you to be prepared for that, but just be wary. Out of everyone in our little troop, they're most likely going to try and mess with you. They probably see you as the greatest threat, and they know you the most.
As you say that, you notice Sylif looks very uncomfortable all of a sudden.
Ooh.
Something the matter?
Well, I was hoping I would be able to talk to Ardeth about this alone beforehand, but...
If you want us to go, we can go.
No, it's clear now. It's clear that there's no point in keeping it, but... Give me a few hours to make my inquiries, and I will take you all to the garden.
Alright, a couple hours it is then.
Thank you, I appreciate this.
The garden. Something about the garden. History check. Didn't we hear about the garden in terms of Ardeth's history?
You recall that the Foreclaimers used to grow their crystals in large sections they used to call gardens.
One of the crystal gardens, correct?
Precisely. Like I said, please give me a few hours to sort things out.
Alright. Guess we should take stock of the items that are around.
Ardeth isn't the only one who's going to be in for a little bit of a shock.
Well, we will wait with bated breath then. But yes, you do what you gotta do.
I'll just point out that has anyone actually bothered looking directly at Ardeth at this point?
I mean, yeah, I imagined, like, once we figured out, like, hey, this might be bothering Ardeth, we'd be giving her looks.
Yeah, you know,
especially that he
no.
talked to Ardeth.
But you notice, well, I was going to say, no need to bother with a perception check.
Okay, good. Whew.
Notice she's basically covered up her head.
Oh, a poor sweet wizard.
Ardeth needs hugs.
No, she's basically wearing a hood and
Mm.
trying to conceal her face, basically.
Has Saleth left by this point?
Yeah, he's basically made himself absent.
I'm sorry about this, Ardeth. It must make you feel phenomenally uncomfortable.
I expected this when I came here, so... But as he said, we have a couple of hours, we can at least try to get some training done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Ardeth, don't you have your other mask? If you would feel more.
You mean my death
comfortable.
mask? No, it's... I'll be fine just keeping my hood up.
Right. I just want you to know that we're all here for you.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
And Jeremiah puts a hand on Ardeth's shoulders and says, I truly mean this. I truly, truly mean this.
She nods and starts looking at the crystal. She goes, if you don't mind, I'd like to be alone. Get a bit more information.
By all means, take as long as you need. We'll be around whipping these folks into shape.
We'll try. I hope some of them speak common. I
I didn't think of that.
I don't really speak Elvish, after all.
Roll
I'm
me a
sure-
history check.
I gotta go to the loo real quick, guys, so BRB.
No worries.
Right.
Jeremiah, you recall that the leader of the band who found you said that most Arcadians had some degree of common. Not a great deal, not fluent, but there'd probably be enough to get the gist of what you're saying.
Who wants to learn how to punch stuff?
Well, just hope they have training dummies for that. Don't need
Okay.
to blackened before. Alright. Yeah. I presume we're doing a little bit of a time skip here.
Yeah, I would like... Well, we need to wait for Kubar to get back before I can ask for rolls I want, but...
Oh, stop crying. I didn't hit you that hard.
Also, you pinched your finger in the bow. Get over it.
Right, I'm back. What I miss?
I would like everyone to make me one intelligence check.
Intelligence.
Oh, wait, that's a saving throw. Ignore that. And
No, Storm, no!
Storm, you hold the bow the wrong way.
Look, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've had to pull this thing out.
A performance check.
Please, for the love of God. Storm, please, you are a trained warrior, man. You've been a guard, you've been a sailor, you've been an investigator. Why are your roles so bad?
And
Barrel
finally,
trained you.
depending on the primary stat you use, either dexterity or strength.
Well, my strength's higher now. Whoa!
Let me try using, because I'm a barbarian.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
I would say over the next few hours, Storm has a little difficulty with the teaching, but I'd say Samael's able to pull him through. You're able to get some pretty decent basics laid down for some of the fighters.
Man, Battleborn made it sound so easy. But I suppose the language barrier doesn't help.
He just pats him on the back. Don't worry. Learning to teach takes time.
Thank you, Sammy.
I'm a little bit better at teaching people how to build things out of wood instead of, fighting.
Well, maybe later on. Sorry, you first.
I said I'm more of a practical learner. As in, they just kind of beat me up.
Yeah, but then you beat them back up, didn't you? Yes, that's my girl.
A few minutes passed before Ardeth joined you again.
Apparently biting is cheating. Ah.
I take it things are going well.
Well enough. Difficulties with the language barrier, but I think they're getting the gist of combat.
No, that's good at least.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, there's one
I
important
showed
thing.
you-
Everyone, listen very carefully. If things start to go to shit, run away.
It's true. Universal law of combat. If you
Yes.
fight and run away, you live to fight another day.
Yes.
Logically speaking, as an underground movement, hit and run tactics are probably our best bet.
Ah, yes, guerrilla warfare.
Why would we fight a gorilla?
You never know when one will turn up. It's best to be prepared. Look, man, you live in the Maelstrom Islands. There's weird shit that goes on here.
I know.
Anyway, find anything out, Ardeth?
Well, I found out that indeed when the Overseer was created, that's when things started to go wrong. Eden became somewhat silent. I can't say for certain exactly why, but it does appear that for a very long time, Arcadia was peaceful. This is basically the first war in the entire existence of this nation.
Remind me to ask the professor about the reason why the Overseer was brought into
Yes.
existence.
That is something I wish to have a very long talk to her about.
Do you have any idea?
Well, let's just say she was experimenting with a particular spell.
You want to elaborate on that?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Please don't be wish.
Arcana, my greatest non-skill. So she was trying to put light somewhere, or what kind of spell are you talking about?
Have you heard of a spell called Clone?
No.
It's a higher level spell.
With
Quite
a
a
name like that, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, you basically take a cubic inch of someone's flesh and use it to grow them a new body. It's basically a way of resurrecting someone long after the conventional methods, such as revivify or reincarnate, have past their usefulness.
But hasn't the soul already moved on to somewhere else, usually? At least that's how Holly explained it to me once.
That's basically the idea. Usually the clone is created and kept ready for when the soul needs a new body. But somehow this professor seems to have made it work with long dead flesh.
Traditionally, Jeremiah, this is what we in the investigative trade called lich bullshit.
Blink, 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 blink. Oh, sorry, what?
Basically, I don't know how she did it, I had to ask her about it, but somehow she brought my sister back.
The little one that smiles.
No, the
The
overseer.
other one.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's not strictly true.
Well, it seems that something changed.
I've had chance to visit the Crystal Garden and, well, it took a little explaining, but I'd like to take you to meet our princess.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I would advise you, Ardeth, I would, recommend you pick up a few items you might need. I need to speak to your friends for a moment. You watch as Ardeth kind of goes back to the crystal room, knowing exactly what he's referring to. Ardeth kind of looks around you all and goes, "Look, the princess is the one person who would be able to persuade Ardeth to be more proactive in our little war."
Don't tell me.
She was the first one resurrected.
Let me guess. Ardeth's younger sister?
Yes. She...
I fucking knew it. I'm
Bef-
sorry.
Before you lose your temper, Shari Behlim was one of our people's greatest crystal gardeners. A talent which sadly was not acknowledged in her own lifetime. We needed her knowledge. And unfortunately, we got the other sister.
Wait, what?
So am I following this right? You tried to get the nice sister, the little one that smiles, and then you got the overseer instead.
Precisely.
But then at a later date you managed to get the little one?
Yes, luckily the professor was able to find the correct sample she needed, and Shari was brought back.
Ardeth was just mentioning this, like, the clone spell requires a sample from whoever you're intending to bring back, so was Ardeth's little sister and the overseer buried together? Like, how did that mix-up happen?
I honestly have no idea. From what the professor is the only one who knows, and again, until she gets back, we can't really say for certain.
Okay, fair enough. Is there an updated E to A on that? Or is she still missing in action?
She comes and goes as she pleases. Right now, she's trying to work out a way to get our mechs moving again, but there's not much else I can say.
I usually rely on percussive maintenance, but I don't think that works with those things.
Like I said, if we had Ark's database, we could probably learn how to fix them. That's why we sent our own overseer to try to acquire the database from you. But apparently she couldn't quite escape her natural inclinations, and, well, she didn't survive long after.
Yeah. Acid's not fun.
Roll me a history check.
Well, the one I had tried to interview had decided to asset herself out of existence. I think. Though there might have been one in between.
There were 2 overseers sent to Gale Bay. Ours and the one you know. The first one returned with the crystal, but a fake database.
Yes, because of reason.
I understand your apprehension at handing over Ark's knowledge.
Especially to someone whom we have only known to be less than favorably thinking of. How did she put it? Lesser beings, such as us.
Unfortunately, that was very much the way our people fought for a very long time.
Yes, she would have probably been better off if she had asked, without acting like an asshole.
I can agree with you on that, my friend.
Then again, as you said, natural inclinations.
There's a couple of seconds before Ardeth returns, and Seph goes, "Right, well, I should take you to the garden."
Jeremiah offers his hand to Ardeth.
Ardeth doesn't take it. It's less, not in a leave me alone way, but more sort of I'm okay, but don't worry about me sort of way.
Alright. Well, you know we're here, Ardeth.
One second, I just need to find the right music. Jurnis.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi!
Hi.
Why did the music change?
Because
We're heading
we
into
just
the
stepped
garden.
through a portal into a crystal garden.
And everyone's
Ah.
wrong with
Never
saying.
put us on that screen yet.
You need to go and have a barf check.
Constitution saving throw? Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
gotta be a 12.
And 1 for MIDI.
Okay, nothing's showing. Oh, no, there it goes.
There
Yeah,
they are.
Squish, Midnight, you're fine.
Hey!
Storm, you look a little pale.
Squish and Jeremiah, you actually don't feel nauseous at all.
Well, it feels like I'm almost getting used to it, but still I don't like the feeling, the tingle.
I think I'm doing fine. Why is Bolt green?
Why is Storm green?
Storm just got.
Storm, deep breaths. Deep
You're
breaths.
not used to portal travel, are you?
Storm just shakes his head while keeping his mouth covered with his fist.
You're-
Let's put
Get
it
yourself
this
a
way. On our way here, I fed the fish from high up.
As,
Jeremiah, you get a message in your head. I would breathe Jeremiah, but then I would vomit everywhere.
as
Right.
you look around, you notice that you're surrounded by hundreds of flowers, all made from crystal.
Well, I can tell you one thing. These crystal flowers are quite appealing.
You can also notice around you larger trees.
I was about to
Each-
mention the crystal trees in the background, yes.
Each of them seem to be producing, rather than fruits, large crystals, similar to the size of the one inside Ardeth. Some are larger, similar to the size you got from Garuda.
Huh. Oh. Fruit-bearing crystal trees in a sense.
My sister always wanted to do a garden like this. Ardeth very slowly removes her hood and removes her mask. Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
I was about to respond to the mask removal, but okay. Well, in a sense, she achieved it.
That, yes. It's quite... It's beautiful.
I know. And Jeremiah's just standing there, taking it all in.
I would like anyone who's looking around to roll me a perception check, please.
Sure.
I'd say Storm managed to just swallow down his sick and therefore not ruin the atmosphere of the scene. So, yeah.
So, Jeremiah's clearly distracted by
Jeremiah,
flowers.
you're distracted by how beautiful this garden is. You can't quite believe that everything here is made of crystal. But everything else, you can see just about 50 feet away, further inside the garden, someone is tending to a few crystal trees.
Squish will nudge Ardeth in the leg and point at the person.
Ardeth nods and very slowly begins to walk towards the person.
Must have taken.
She managed to grow it in a space of a few months. She's been providing thousands of power crystals for us. I couldn't quite believe it, but the history's books about her skill were, well, frankly left a lot to be desired.
I mean, creating trees out of these crystals. That has to be hard work. And then to arrange it all so beautifully.
I tried to grow something once. It really didn't work.
Sorry, Squish. What? I was in awe of this.
As you talk, you notice Ardeth is hesitating. She's still walking forward, but you can tell there's a reluctance there.
We might need to give our friend a gentle nudge.
This isn't really something you can rush.
Jeremiah's going to by her side and offering up his hand again. I will go with you if you want to.
I appreciate it, Jeremiah.
Has the figure working in the garden noticed our presence?
Roll me a perception check. She has not.
Oh, how much of a dick would Squish be? Yep, she's direct. She would do this. Squish is going to look around for a pebble.
Wish.
Can she get one?
Oh. Roll me an investigation.
It's a little pebble or a small object.
Hey, Seph.
Yep.
Despite the magnificence of this crystal garden, Storm only really has eyes for true beauty, aka Squish. So, would he notice her start looking around for a pebble?
Roll me a insight check.
Sure. 13?
Oh god, yeah, you notice.
Now, Squish, what are you playing at, sweetie? What's your plan?
Just gotta get her attention. I'm not gonna throw the stone at her. What do you think I am? It's just gonna make a little bit of noise. Nothing to stop her.
I mean, I can help. You remember, I can send messages to people's brains.
Yeah, I think that might startle her a little bit.
I could be gentle about it.
Guys, I think Ardeth should be the one who talks to her first.
I know. But Ardeth is... You know what? Squish reaches into her pocket, pulls out a copper coin, and throws it into the stonework behind Ardeth's foot to make a gentle chinking noise.
As you do that, you do notice a figure stand up. She's wearing a white dress, she has a white covering over her head and face. And she basically approaches. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had visitors. Good afternoon. Well, I presume it's afternoon. I really can't tell when I'm in my garden.
See, that's all I wanted to do.
Mesmerizing.
It worked.
As she approaches, you
think that Squish was gonna pelt her with a stone?
No. I just wanted to offer you another option.
As she approaches, she removes... Oh, God's sake, 1 second. That's the wrong thing. Bear with me. As she approaches, she pulls down the head covering. Again, I didn't expect to have any visitors today, especially such unusual visitors.
Hi. Well, Storm, let's go walk over here. Sandy, you should come with us too and look at these pretty crystals away far over there.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go do that and give, Ardeth some time.
Come on, Sandy. Oh, God.
Ardeth? You kind of watch as Sherry starts examining Ardeth very carefully. I'd like people to roll me an insight, please.
Here we go.
Insight.
Yeah, you can basically see that while Shari is more curious about what's going on, Ardeth looks like she wants the ground to swallow her up at this point.
Oh.
Yes, Shari, it's me. It's been a very, very long time. Of course it has. It's been over 2,000 years. You watch as Shari just throws her arms around Ardeth and just hugs her far too tight.
Jeremiah takes a step away from the situation. Those two need some time alone, so he turns and joins the others at that one particular very interesting crystal flower.
I missed you a lot, sister. I It's been such a long time. I don't even know how to. Well, as you can see, I finally managed to make my garden. Yes, it's very beautiful, Shari. You all kind of watch. You can tell Ardeth again. She's still wanting the ground to swallow her up.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves as well.
Take the pressure off Ardeth a little.
Yes.
Alright. Lead the charge, Jeremiah.
Well, Princess, I would like to introduce myself as one of the compatriots of your beloved sister.
Oh yes. Sorry, my manners. I'm Shari.
My name's Jeremiah. At your service, and he bows very deeply, and then looks over to Ardeth, and then kind of nods towards Storm, whom he assumes to take on the lead. But yeah, he's going to incite Ardeth for a minute there.
Let you do your insight roll.
Yeah, Ardeth is still very much. Yeah, there's definitely stuff going on in that head.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Princess Shari. I must say, your smile is as believe. My name is Storm upon the Sea. This is my bird son, Bolt. He is very majestic, sovereign of the skies. We look forward, as friends of your sister, to render whatever services we can to aid you and your people.
It's very much appreciated, Mr. Storm. I have to admit that, well, I'm grateful for being resurrected, but I had hoped my people would have learned their lesson by now.
Seems like you've inherited a bit of a hot mess.
Just a little.
Well, we're here to take some of the heat off you.
I just need 1 second to make a quick roll.
At least our goal is to restore the...
Everyone with a passive perception of 16 or above.
Storm meets that.
You notice that the second you say hot mess in regard to what's happening, Ardeth seems to be getting worse.
Oh, one of these days, like, she's just gonna smack Storm across the face.
Surprised she hasn't done it already.
He doesn't do it on purpose.
I would also like anyone who's looking at Shari to make an investigation check.
Okay, that'll be
1 second.
an investigation, not an... Okay, yeah, I see. Smiles for mild, that's all.
Pretty much, Samael, you notice that on her left side there is a slight hint of a burn.
Storm, you gotta quit the fire.
And I would say, Storm, you notice this as well.
Okay, good.
Can't everyone be so blind?
Well, moving on. This is the lovely Squish, my partner in love and crime, with our baby dragon boy at midnight. Sort of gestures to the lovely duo.
Shari gives you both a smile and a nod.
just headcanon for me. That that little scene from Stitch where Stitch is like, ah! Just
Yeah.
Squish his hide. That's what I pictured. Just burying the teeth and the ears back and everything.
She's a real charismatic force, is my Squish.
I can see that very much.
And finally, I believe we have our ever dutiful cleric of Bahamut, Samael Morningstar.
Samael, I'll say everyone, you suddenly hear Shari speak in Draconic.
Ooh, a language I know.
A language I have still no fucking clue about.
Samael and Storm, you both hear her say, Bahamut's blessings to you.
Samael responds in
her
kind.
head.
Samael responds in kind. Saying
Yeah.
the same.
Why the hell not? Storm does the same.
Well, I'm very pleased to meet you all. I wish it happened under better circumstances, but still, I'm glad that you've all come to help. Yes, helping. That's precisely what we're here to do. We'd best get back to it.
Yes?
Ardeth, we don't have to leap into it right away. If you want to spend a little bit of time with your sister, I mean, we can spare like an afternoon.
I mean, yes, we can go back and train the soldiers a little bit more.
To be honest, Ardeth looks like she's trying to dig the ground with her vibrations.
We can do all the catching up later.
She's turned into a jackhammer. She's vibrating so much.
Pretty much, yes.
I understand, sister. I know. Well, you always were one for making sure the job's done. It's always one of the things I admired about you, but I understand. Just watches Sherry still smiling. She just gives you all a little wave and goes back to tending to the tree.
Oh, she's lovely.
Let's get back to what we were doing.
Ardeth, there's something the matter.
It's fine.
I mean, do I even need to roll insight because your voice is already betraying the fact that no, it's not fine?
You know,
it's not fine.
Yeah, you can tell that she kind of wants to get away from there as quickly as possible.
Ardeth, you can trust us.
I just need to roll something very quickly.
When the DM says that, I get nervous. Well, it's a stealth roll. I get very nervous.
Well, I think we could all beat an 8.
Yeah, we all.
No, she's talking to you all. It wasn't you I was asking to roll for. She just goes, look, I don't want Shari to hear what I have to tell you, okay?
Okay.
Enough.
And with that, Seph kind of shrugs.
You're leaving us on a cliffhanger.
Yes, actually. Seph takes you back into the underground base. And we shall leave it there for this week.
Good old Storm. Open mouth, insert foot.
So, play the game.
I mean, this was a very talky episode.
Well, if no one's got one, fail.
I don't think there was any like major plays, but I think there were quite a few fails.
Well, the best it was the role, but Jeremiah figuring out that Ardeth's younger sister is in the
I'll
kind of
say
would go as a moment of being bright for him.
Fail of the game.
Storm, do you need help getting your foot out of your mouth?
Yeah, please, it keeps happening. I don't know how.
Maybe you should go for a vow of silence.
Any thoughts, theories, and ideas?
Well, who says that the sister that we got is 100%? That's a theory. Because something is, from the player's perspective, something is apparently amiss. Then again, we'll see.
I'm just really wondering how long it's gonna be until Ardeth finally smacks.
So, going down the list, it's a good night from Cork.
Good night, everyone, and we'll see each other in the future.
A good night from Icy.
Good night, everyone. Sleep well.
A good night from Jurnis.
Good night, everybody. Excuse me while I go throttle my router.
That's no use because it reduces the bandwidth.
A good night from Kubar.
Good night, everyone. Snuggle your goblins close and give them many smooches.
Also, keep your feet out of your mouth.
And a good night from me. Good night.
Good night.
Night.